Hello, Galactic Gophers. It's me, Miss Mitchell, from Quarantine Art with Miss Mitchell. Your teacher, Mrs. Richmond, said that you would be transforming your classroom into a Jurassic Park theme this week and learning all about dinosaurs. She asked me to give you a few tips and tricks for how to draw dinosaurs for your art project. I think she's pretty wonderful, so I was like, okay, sure. Now, even after one day of learning about dinosaurs, you probably know they're kind of crazy looking. But don't panic. I'm going to give you a few tips for how to totally rock it. Let me show you how we're going to do it. So you see these dinosaurs and you're like, whoa, those are some wacky creatures. They have all this detail and texture. There's a lot going on. But we're going to start a little simpler than that. The easiest way to learn to draw a dinosaur is to break it down into smaller, simpler shapes, which we will then attach, and then we can add all the color and detail to really make them pop. Let's start with the Stegosaurus. They're the ones with the pokey spikes down their back, and they have a large body and a tiny head. So we're going to start with that large body, and it's roughly a big oval shape. So we're just going to start there, a big oval. Then their tiny little head is sort of like a rounded raindrop shape. All right, give it a little bit of space in between here because he does have a little neck. Then his tail is going to just be a triangle coming off the end of his rump. And then his legs, you kind of want to give him these big thighs that he has so you can see his shoulder. And then you're going to give him some chunky calves and a little foot. So we're just breaking it down into these smaller parts, circles, ovals, rounded triangles, no problemo. Then we can connect his neck right here, a little slanted line, give it a little bit of a curve so it looks natural. And then those spikies along his back are kind of just rounded triangle shapes, like the tail, but shorter and chubbier. Totally cool. Okay, now once you have all of your parts and it kind of looks like a Stegosaurus, you can go back and erase those lines that are inside of his body that you really don't need anymore. And what you're left with is a totally cool dinosaur shape. Now, this is a great start and all, but of course they have all those details and colors, right? So we need to go a little step further, and we'll give him his little tiny eyeball and his little tiny head. And we'll give him a mouth. It looks like he has some little tiny teeth. All right, there's a little bit of texture and definition in those spikies. So this is when stuff really gets exciting. We got to get the basic shape down, but then you can come in with all your details. You can kind of round out his legs so they don't look like three separate ovals. All right, pretty good. Then, of course, when we add our color, we can incorporate some of that texture, some shading, and really make him look pretty realistic. So I'm going to use colored pencils for mine. If you're using markers, paint, that's all fine too. Oh, this is a perfect Stegosaurus color. One little trick I have is I go around the edge of my shape with my colored pencil, and I'm pushing a little bit harder to start. And I take my time and go right along the outside edge, and I follow my pencil lines in here so that I get that like definition on his arm right here, down his leggies. And I'm taking my time more with this so that when I come in to shade him in, I can go a little bit faster, and I'm not too worried about going outside of my lines. I'm going to cover him with this lighter color, and then I'm going to go in again with some medium and dark colored color pencils. Just again to give him a little more realism. Notice I'm kind of holding my color pencil at an angle. I'm not pushing too hard, but I am kind of going over the same area for a little while, just to make it look really nice and smooth, not scribbly. Oh yeah. Totally cool. So again, once you get the main body colored in with a lighter color, you can always come back in with a medium and dark colored green if you're going realistic colors. They don't have to be realistic colors. All right, now I can come in with my medium green and give him some toenails. Stegosaurus toenails. And let's see. Oh yeah, this is a good medium shade of that brownish greenish. just give another little outline to make him really pop. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing on his pokey spikes. Up here, I'll kind of start with a base color. And then I can come in with another color to give it a little definition here. Oh yeah, that looks good. It's really coming together. And then they all have very unique textures, I've noticed, and a lot of them look kind of scaly. I think there's some debate about that. Some people think that they used to have feathers, which is kind of crazy, related to birds, but typically they look scaly. So we'll add that in, and I'm going to try to find a really pointy green color, and I'm just going to come in here and add like some of those scales and wrinkles. And you don't have to get every single wrinkle, but you're kind of just giving the general idea that they have some scaly skin. Looks like he also has some spots here on his back. Stegosaurus freckles. So all this will just help make your dinos look a little more realistic. The more colors and shading and detail and texture you add in, the more realistic they'll look and the more identifiable they'll be. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, now can we please talk about the Tyrannosaurus Rex, because unfortunately he is not a series of simple shapes. He's all over the place. His head is like twice the size of his body. I don't even know. But you can still start roughly with that same idea. We're going to give him kind of an oval shaped body and another large leg, but then his leg gets teeny down here, and then I do like a rounded triangle down here, and we're gonna add the details being his giant claws down here. They're kind of a raindrop shape, and then his other leg would be in the background. You can kind of do the same thing, a little bit smaller, hiding behind this leg. And his tail is the same as a Stegosaurus, a long kind of skinny pointy triangle like so, and then he has that little neck, but then his head is so crazy. Let's do a little circle right here for his eye and his like eyebrow right here, and then we'll give him this giant snout, which what kind of shape would we call that? Totally crazy. Maybe make him look like a parrot kind of. And then his jaw comes down here, and you're gonna do that same kind of parrot shape on the bottom like so. And then this is the part that really makes them look cool, is if you mirror that same shape underneath right here and right here, it gives an openness to his mouth, so then you can put in those really big scary T-Rex teeth. You could even give him a big scary T-Rex tongue. Ooh. Creepy dude. Let's not forget his teeny tiny arms. He's supposed to be so fearsome, but he's pretty funny looking. So again, I'm just kind of breaking it down into a small rounded shape for his shoulder, another skinny oval for his forearm, and then his little tiny claws at the end. What a funny looking creature. Another arm in the background, again kind of hiding behind his body. There you have it. So again, we're kind of just starting with the basic outline, and now I can come back in with my colors and my textures, make him really look like a T-Rex. All right, so one more thing. It looks like he has kind of a line down here to separate his belly color from his back color. This is a little bit lighter, and then he has some different colored stripage on the back. So I'm gonna do kind of like maybe a combo of this orange and brownish here, and same thing, I'm going to go darker in some shadowy areas or to outline, give them that realness. You can erase any of these lines that you don't need anymore, especially if your color pencil is not dark enough to color right over it. You'll just continue the same way we did our Stegosaurus, doing different shades of dino colors. Give them a little tiny T-Rex eyeball, maybe yellow in there. Ooh. I'm gonna finish this guy up. All right, I think he looks pretty good. I added just a few simple lines around like his kneecap, on his tail, and just a couple little dash marks kind of give you the idea that it's scaly and wrinkly in certain areas. And then one more trick is if you want to take a black permanent marker and make certain areas really pop, like I wanted his eyeball to really stand out. Oh yeah, look at that creepy eyeball. Ooh. And same with his teeth. I wanted them to really be prominent and scary, like a T-Rex's teeth. Rawr. You could outline the whole thing or the whole outline shape. Just any areas that you really want to pop out. Well, there you have it. There's a Stegosaurus and a T-Rex, but you can really apply that same logic to any dino. Just start by breaking it down into simpler shapes, get the main idea, and then you can really focus on the details, the textures, and any areas that you want to really stand out. Well, there you have it. I hope you're inspired to make some totally cool dinosaurs. Don't worry, I wouldn't leave you hanging without a dinosaur joke. What's the best way to talk to a dinosaur? Long distance. Make sure you send me pictures of your finished products. I can't wait to see them. Bye-bye.